Namaste. Thanks for coming to practice this morning or whatever time you're making it to your mat. We're going to start in a comfortable seat today, and we're going to start with a mudra. It's called Vajrapadmana mudra, and so you're going to interlace your fingers. Let me see if I can scoot closer so you can see. You're going to interlace your fingers, and your index fingers, the fingernails, the fingertips overlap, and the thumbs are out wide like that. And you just place that over the heart. And so once you have your mudra, it doesn't matter which hand's on top, whatever feels natural. You can close the eyes and just start to tune into your breath. I have a little information to share with you about this mudra. It's just absorbing that while you hold it. Solid fundamental trust is the basis for healthy self-confidence. We experience times when we think we can deal with whatever comes our way, and there are times when we doubt ourselves, when we feel insecure, and think ourselves not capable of handling anything that happens. When we take a closer look at things, we notice how important inner strength is for our self-confidence. When we are weakened, no matter on what level, physical, mental, or emotional, then insecurity sneaks in. We can build up our inner strength with specific mudras, physical exercises, and pranayama or breathing, energetic exercises. Furthermore, I've noticed that I begin to doubt or brood or feel insecure when I lose my connection with cosmic consciousness. Isn't it wonderful to know that we are just one single thought away from it and can overcome this distance at any time? Cosmic consciousness, or the divine, is always there, but where are we? This perception has changed my entire life. To always be reminded of this fact, you can place an object, something like a talisman, in your pocket or on your desk or workstation. And so while you're holding this mudra, starting to affirm, I am a creation of the greatest omnipotence, whose strength and power lovingly support me at all times. I am a creation of the greatest omnipotence, whose strength and power lovingly support me at all times. And so we'll work to begin building our pranayama practice while continuing this mudra. And so continuing on this idea of building lung capacity, strengthening the breathing apparatus has been said to strengthen our connection to life and everything that surrounds us and is within us. And so we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale to 8, and hold for 2. If this is too challenging, do 3, 1, 6 instead. But I'll count you through 4, 2, 8, 2. And so we'll start by syncing our breaths up, exhaling all the air out of the lungs. And then inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for 2, 1. And continue on your own pace of counting. to take 2 more rounds of this breath. And then when you're finished, you can release the hands and blink open the eyes. Switch which shin bone is in front, and then breathe and reach your left arm to the sky. Right hand plants out from your hip. Reach up and over, relaxing the ear towards the shoulder. Inflate your breath from the outer shoulder all the way down to the outer hip. Take a few more expansive breaths into that side body. And then on an exhale, return to center, reaching the right arm up, planting the left palm, reaching over to the left. Remember to relax the neck and jaw. Continue mindfully breathing, slowing and smoothing the breath, trying to maintain longer exhalations than the inhalations. And then on your next exhale, return to center. We'll roll over the ankles to find table. Once you find table, we're going to warm up the hands a little bit. And so what you're going to do on your mat, the fingers are going to remain spread super wide, but you're going to squeeze the fingertips together without them actually sliding together. And then you're just going to relax. Squeeze like you're trying to crumple your mat up into your fist, and then relax, squeeze, relax. See, what you're hoping to feel is the center of the palm lifting, or the heel of the palm, not the knuckles. If the knuckles are lifting, try to leverage them to plant into the floor so that it's more the center or back of the palm that lifts instead. Starting to facilitate some strength in the forearms, but also what's called hasta bandha, hand connection to the floor. And so after this last pulse of squeezing and releasing, we're going to spin the fingers to face each other. And so keeping the wrists right under your shoulders, again squeezing, relaxing, squeeze and release. A few more times like that. And then once you relax, spin the hands out to the side. Again, wrists are right under the shoulders, squeezing and letting go. Now we'll spin the fingers as far back as is comfortable towards your knees. You're continuing the external rotation, so just going further from where we were in that last hand position. Don't worry if they don't face the knees. They can also be diagonally back, or they can just remain straight out to the sides like they just were. Find a little micro bend in the elbows, sliding the shoulders towards the hips and drawing the abdomen in. We're not squeezing here, we're just going to let the hands stay relaxed. If you need a deeper stretch in the forearms, the hips can start to reach towards your heels, probably only a millimeter or two. Imagine your breath could expand all the way down into the forearms and wrists. And then you're going to walk the knees to the fingertips and press through them to lift off the hands. And then you can wiggle the fingers. And so you're going to grab your right forearm just above the wrist and squeeze firmly. With a loose fist, start to circle that right hand. We're immobilizing the forearm bones and then change direction here. And then switch hands. Again, squeezing that left forearm pretty tightly. And then change direction of these fist circles. Good, and then release. We're going to use the hands, and we're going to step our way into Malasana, so our yogic squat. This might not be the achievable, the heels on the floor, so you can roll up a blanket and slide it right under your heels so you can be a little more elevated. What we're going to do is we're going to lift our hips high enough so that there's space between calves and hamstrings, and you're going to take the middle of your forearm and you're going to squat on down to kind of clamp onto that forearm. If you're right under the knee, it's going to be a little uncomfortable in the backs of the knees, so you want to be about an inch below. So I often see people interlacing fingers. Try to let that go so the hands can just be like kind of awkwardly curled like that. And then if you need more sensation for these forearms, you can rock side to side. Rock one more time if that's what you're doing, and then come back to center, and then you're going to try to straighten the hands out into our star shape and then let them slowly curl back in. Open the hands, let them curl. 2 more times. And then lift the hips, and now we're taking the wrist into that same spot, right where the belly of the hamstrings and the top of the thickest part of the calf is, and you're squatting on down, clamping your wrists. And then again, you can stay in stillness or you can rock side to side a little. Good, and one more rock. And then press firmly through the heels to lift the hips enough to take your hands out from under. And we'll return to table just to take a note of how our hands feel maybe a little different in their connection to the floor. And so from here, we're going to reach your right leg straight back, left arm forwards, thumb points up. Take the fingertips 2 inches below your belly button and hollow that lower abdomen away from the fingertips, and then reach back out again, maintaining that strength of the lower abdomen. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, from that space below the belly button, start to round the back up to the ceiling and tap the elbow and knee together, or maybe you can reach further and get elbow and inner thigh to touch. And then inhale to reach out. Don't lose the engagement of the core. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to expand. Exhale to contract. 2 more. And then release. And then left leg back, right arm forwards, thumb up. Again, fingertips just 2 inches below the belly to hollow the very lower abdomen in, and then reach back out. If you get wobbly, find all 4 corners of your anchored hand, and then press the top of the foot into the floor. Or if that's not feeling very stable, try curling the toes under of that grounded foot. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, elbow to leg, and inhale to expand, and round from belly button up, finding our spinal flexion. Inhale to expand, exhale to pull in. Couple more. Moving with breath. Smoothing the breath, slowing it down so that the movement can slow. And then release. And so our hands will step about a handprint forwards. Again, you're finding a micro squeeze of fingertips together, anchoring the knuckles down. From there, the biceps roll forwards so that your elbows point back if they were to bend a little. Curl the toes under. Pull that very lower abdomen in to lift the hips to find downward facing dog. And so we're letting the shoulders kind of relax as you continue spinning the biceps forwards while keeping your index fingers parallel to each other. Take another breath in. And then as you exhale, again starting with that lower abdomen, pull it in and it'll round your back into that spinal flexion as you roll forwards to plank, and then we turn to a neutral spine. And then exhale, chin to chest. This time starting by lifting chest, ribs, bottom ribs, abdomen, lower abdomen, shifting back to down dog. And so lower abdomen pulls in, and it rolls us forwards like a wave back to plank, and then chin to chest, and then reversing that direction of the wave towards the hips. So a few more like that. This time when we come forwards to plank, we're going to lower the knees and squeeze the thumbs towards each other and squeeze the knees towards each other, feeling everything hugged to the midline that's parallel to your spine. And then also squeeze heels of palms and knees together so that we're squeezing to a midline that's perpendicular to the spine. And so a few more like that, pulling the belly in, sending the tail towards the floor. And then shift forwards, bend the elbows, lower to the front body. Allow the tops of the feet, thighs, and the fronts of the hips to anchor into the floor, and then breathe in and peel the chest up. Chin tucks towards the front of the throat to keep the back of the neck long. Your hands can be passive or very gently they can begin to pull back towards the hips, and this will pull your chest forwards. Bhujangasana. Take 2 more slow, smooth breaths, making sure you fill air into the lower abdomen. And then exhale, release. Maybe give the hips a little shake side to side, and then we're going to press our way back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg to the sky. As you exhale, as we shift to plank, you're going to tuck your knee to the chest. And then inhale, reach it up, relax the neck. Exhale, bring it towards that right elbow. Inhale to reach it up to the sky. Exhale, tap it towards that left elbow. It doesn't actually have to touch. Inhale to sweep it up. As you exhale and come back to the center of the chest with your knee around, maybe lift the right hand up or come to fingertips and step your foot between the hands. Squeeze the legs strongly together. Pull the chest forwards. And so, feeling here just the hint of a heart opener as you slide shoulders down the back. As you exhale, the legs are going to remain the same. Right knee over the heel. But you're going to round into our spinal flexion again, kind of like our cat back, and try to tap your forehead to your knee. And then breathe in and let your heart expand forwards. You might feel your ribs slide towards the right knee. Exhale to round, knee and forehead tap. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, our cat back. One more like that. Inhale and exhale. And from this cat back, pivot your back heel onto the floor and then come on up, warrior one. We're going to wrap our left elbow underneath the right. Find the forearms together. Maybe the fingers wrap into your palm. If neither of this feels comfortable, hands find shoulder blades. Wherever you're at, whatever arm position, elbows go forwards and up. And start to breathe expansively into your upper back. If you want to deepen that in the upper back, you can bow your head onto that top bicep. Anchor the tailbone to the floor, pulling that very lower abdomen in. But although we're engaging lower abdomen, the chest rises. And then expand warrior 2. To go from warrior 1 to warrior 2, we have to pivot the back toes out a little bit, and then maybe heel toe the front foot in so that heel and back inner arch align. Flip the palms down, curl the backs of the hands to the forearms, and press strongly out through the heels of your palms. Maybe sink a little lower so your right knee comes right over that heel again, and squeeze the feet towards each other. You feel the inner thighs wake up. Release the hands. Reach the right arm up and over, left hand to the lower or the upper calf or maybe the lower thigh. Avoid the knee. Breathing into the right side body. Relaxing the neck, the jaw, the eyes. Continue rolling the outer right thigh to the floor. Keep the space in the right side body. On an exhale, through warrior 2, reach forwards, form to thigh. Your left arm can go vertical or alongside the ear for extended side angle. You can stay on the thigh. You can bring the hand to a block or the floor. Feel free to relax the ear towards the shoulder. You know, if you don't have a block around, I've seen people get creative and use phone books, boxes. You could use a weight and kind of prop it up like that so that you're just a little higher. Take one more big inhale. And exhale, release. And the left hand to the floor. Spin your back heel up. And heel toe your right foot over. So now we've got hands under shoulders and your right foot's outside of that hand. Okay, so our lizard lunge. If you want to give your back leg a break, set the knee on the floor as far back as is comfortable. Otherwise, keep it lifted. You can stay on hands. You can even have hands on our props, or you lower that left elbow down. Maybe your right elbow just stays a little bit bent, or you could lower onto that second elbow as well. Wherever you are, squeeze the legs together, pull low belly in, and try to reach your heart towards your thumbs. Then relax the head without losing the heart opener. Press your left heel straight back if that leg's lifted. One more inhale. Exhale brings us back up onto the palms. I'm going to step that right foot back to plank pose. Shift forwards. If you like, lower the knees first. Otherwise, lower straight through Chaturanga Dandasana onto the front body. We're going to interlace fingers behind the hips. You just squeeze the fingertips or the fingers into each other, but separate the hands. It's like we're trying to pull the hands apart without them actually sliding. Now reach the hands back to your heels, lifting the chest. Lift the forearms away from the hips. Chin gently towards the front of the throat. A great way to strengthen the back, but also the diaphragm. One more inhale. And exhale, release, hands under shoulders. We're going to press our way back to downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg to the sky. As you exhale and shift to plank, bend the knee and tuck it towards the center of the chest. Inhale to reach it up, relax your neck. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Give it a little tap. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale over that right elbow, that little twist. Inhale to reach it up. Knee to chest. Around the back to make room. Tuck that leg in close. Make sure it touches the front of the torso. Maybe prop up onto left fingertips to step your foot onto the face. So again, you can have hands on blocks or weights or phone books, whatever, dictionary. Squeeze the legs together. Keep your left knee over the heel the whole time. Breathe in, pull the chest forwards. Slide the shoulders down the back, but also widen them. And as you exhale, we're rounding into our cat back, tapping forehead to knee. Inhale to reach heart forwards. Exhale to round. You should feel the mid-abdomen lift from the thigh. Inhale. And exhale, round. Inhale, heart expands. Exhale, back body expands. From there, we're going to pivot that back heel down. Roll on up, warrior one. Arms to the sky. If you're wobbly in warrior one, the feet can be in two separate, they can be like hip distance apart. More traditional is feet in one line. So go with what works for you today. We're going to wrap the right elbow underneath, finding our Garuda arms, hands to shoulder blades, forearms, the other fingers in the palm. Elbows go forwards and they chase the ceiling. Deepen this by bowing the head under that upper arm. Totally optional there. Starting to breathe into the upper back. Sliding your left knee forwards over that heel. Keep squeezing the feet together. Last inhale. The exhale brings us to warrior two. And so again, you have to readjust the feet so that they're in one line and they're perpendicular to each other. Front foot straight forwards, other foot 90 degrees out. Flip the palms down, make fists. Reach the knuckles to the floor. And so we've got a stretch for the top of the wrist. Your thumbs outside of the index finger. This time, instead of squeezing feet together, try pressing the feet away from each other. Like we're going to stretch our mat out. Release the hands. Breathe in, left arm rises, right hand to the right leg. Relaxing the head, maybe gazing towards your right big toe. Breathe space into the right side body. Just because we're leaning back doesn't mean we change the legs. We're keeping that left knee over the heel. Still trying to press the feet away from each other. Last inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Sliding straight forward, stretching that bottom side body and then forearm to the thigh. Right arm vertical or alongside the ear. If you reach alongside the ear, you're spinning your bicep towards the face. You can stay up here. You can bring your left hand to a prop or all the way to the floor. Gaze where it's comfortable for the neck. While we're reaching through the right fingertips, you're planting that pinky edge of your right foot, trying to stretch the body in two separate directions. Last breath in. And exhale, releasing right hand down, heel toe your left foot over. So we're in our lizard lunge. Hands are inside of that left foot, like so. Hands could be up a little bit higher. You can also lower your right knee on the floor, finding a little bit more rest for the back leg. You can lower your right elbow down if you want to go deeper. And left elbow could join it, or it could come kind of into a little bend. Squeeze the feet together, pull low belly in, and then heart reaches forwards. I've heard our mind described like a radio where we can tune in to different stations, or like a TV that can tune in to different channels. And so while you're in each asana, instead of focusing on what's uncomfortable, what's challenging, focus on what feels good, what feels like it's helping. Focus on what feels strong to you. And then we're going to come back up on the palms, and we're going to step that left foot back to plank pose, shift forwards, lower the knees if you like, otherwise straight down back to the front body. We're going to cactus the arms. When I say cactus, it's like a 90-degree bend of the elbows, and the elbows are straight out from your shoulders. So while we're lying prone, palms are on the floor. We're going to drive hips, thighs, and feet down, and breathe in and lift the chest and also the forearms. And focus on our external rotation of the upper arms so the biceps start to roll towards the ceiling, which will tilt the fingertips to the sky, not from the wrist, but from that rotation of the upper arm. Breathing into the upper back, peeling the chest up, driving the hips down. Are you breathing into the low belly? Last inhale. And exhale, release. Keep your right arm cactus, slide the left hand under the shoulder, and you're going to start to roll towards that right side. Go slowly. This is a deep pec opener. Set the head onto the floor. If this is too intense, roll out, straighten your right arm, come back into it. And roll back to the front body. You can either, kind of learning from how the first side worked, you can either have your elbow cactus shape or out shape of a T with elbows straight. Right hand under shoulder, look to the right, slowly roll onto that left side, setting the head down. You can roll back to the front body. Slide hands under shoulders, and you're going to press your way to child's pose. From child's pose, the palms are going to come to touch, and you're going to bend the elbows so that your hands come tucked behind the head. So I was talking a moment ago about tuning into different channels, and I think about occasionally I get nightmares, and I trained myself as a kid when nightmares were too intense that I would wake myself up, and it's like this moment of consciousness, of mindfulness. I'm dreaming. This is a bad dream. I don't have to be here anymore. I don't have to exist in this mind state any longer. And so I would wake myself up and kind of calm myself and then drift back to sleep. And not that waking life is that easy. We can't just leave the dream. We're kind of in it, but we can always wake up from the mindset that we were in and choose to calm ourselves and then re-enter life, re-enter the situation with a different mindset. Changing one thought at a time. Reach the arms out, widen the hands, return to table. Reach the right leg back again, left arm forwards. You're going to play with bending the right knee. Reaching that left arm out, reaching back. You might not be able to find the foot. I've got kind of long arms. I've got strong hamstrings to pull that foot in, so it's easy to grab. Can't reach the foot. Think about strengthening hamstrings, doing these kind of hamstring curls. But for the meantime, grab a strap or a belt, whatever you've got. Even a towel will work. And you're going to take that lasso into your left hand and you're going to loop it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kick the foot back and up. And so finding our half bow in table. The chest is going to turn to the left, and so plug the right shoulder to the hip and start to pull that right shoulder slowly back. This is usually when people lose balance, and so moving slowly is kind of key to maintaining steadiness. Take another breath in. Exhale, release left hand. Bring that right knee towards the elbow, give it a tap. And you're going to take it straight up to the outside, straighten the leg, pausing there. If you want more challenge, left arm goes out to the side. Then you're going to slowly set that right knee down, or right foot down. Left arm reaches a little higher, breathe in. And then exhale to slide that under the right wrist. Keep reaching towards your foot and land your shoulder and temple onto the floor. Your right hand can remain under the elbow, pressing the floor away. Or you can reach it up around the low back. Alternatively, arm goes alongside the ear and you can walk your fingers to the left. This is going to deepen the twist a little. Make sure your neck is relaxed wherever you are. Slide the right hand in front of the face, press into it to untwist, planting your left hand, stepping that right knee in. From here, that left leg reaches back, right arm forwards. You've got your strap in the right hand if you're using it. You're going to bend the left knee, reach the right arm out to the side and back, finding the pinky edge of the foot with your hand. You can also grab pants or ankle, or again, you've got your loop around your foot. And you're going to kick the foot into the strap or the hand to send the toes to the sky. Start to pull the left shoulder slowly back, anchoring through the four corners of that bottom hand, the top of the right foot, pulling low abdomen in. Slowly release the right hand to the floor. You're going to tuck that left knee to the elbow and then bring it out to the side, kind of fire hydrant pose. Kick the leg straight out. Stay there if that's enough challenge. Or right arm out, shape of a T, parallel to the floor with arm and leg. Breathing, low abdomen in. Slowly release Left foot to the floor, right arm to the sky. On your exhale, that arm, like a bird skimming right over the water, it's going to slide across the floor until you land your shoulder onto the mat, the temple as well. Driving the left palm down, or arm around the low back, or arm over ear, and then you're walking that hand towards the right. Relax the neck and jaw. And slide your left hand in front of the face, press into it to untwist, and step your left knee in. From here, we're going to step, well, let's do this mindfully. Squeeze the right calf into your hamstring, so that hamstring curl I was talking about. Lift the knee up. On your exhale, round the mid back to the sky, take your right knee to the outside of the elbow, and step your foot to the outside of the hands. We're going to walk that left knee back as far as is comfortable. So we're back in a lizard lunge. You could return here and stay. You could play with bending that left knee. Now if there's ever pain in the knee itself, you want to go right back to foot on the floor. If it's just that the floor is kind of hard, fold your mat over, use a blanket to cushion. As you bend the knee, and that knee is as far back as it can, you should end up not on the kneecap, but on the bottom of the thigh bone. From here, right palm finds the thigh, and we're starting to twist towards the inner right leg. Reach the right arm up, reach back. Maybe you can grab pants or foot, or again, your strap's handy now, and you can lasso that foot in. So finding Parvita Ekapada Rajakapotasana, or twisting King Pigeon pose. Roll the top shoulder back. And slowly release right hand down, curl the left toes under, lift the back knee. Unfold your mat. Step your way back, plank pose. Pausing here. Rounding the low belly in, finding cat back without sending the hips higher. They stay right where they were. And then slowly lowering the knees. Left calf squeezes into the hamstrings like you're squishing a ball of clay. Lift the left knee up. Breathe in there. On the exhale, navel in. Knee reaches to that outer left arm. Plant the foot on the outside of your pinky. Walk your right knee as far back as is comfortable. Again, you can choose to stay here. You might choose to fold your mat over to give that right knee some extra cushion. Play with bending the right knee. If you end up on the kneecap, walk the knee back just another few millimeters, and then take the left palm to the thigh. Start turning the chest to the left. Squeeze left foot, right knee together. From here, you can reach straight up, back. Find the foot. Sometimes that foot's not within reach. The trick is propping this right hand up, grabbing the foot. You can even bring it to the thigh. Once you've got a hold of the foot, bring the right hand back to the floor. From here, we're not just kind of collapsing in. We're continuing our strength, rolling that left shoulder back, turning the chest any amount to the ceiling. And then slowly release. Hand to the floor, right toes curl under, lifting the back knee this time, stepping forwards, finding a seat. We're going to plant the hands behind the hips, shoulders squeeze together so the chest is supported and lifting. Feet are hip distance apart, lift the hips, chin stays at chest, you can drop the head to the floor. Starting to cool down. Chin to chest, slowly lower the hips. Take the soles of the feet together. Inch the hips to your heels. Lower onto one elbow. And then the next, I like to grab onto my outer thighs so I can use my elbows like fulcrums to slowly lower the back onto the floor. Feel free to prop your legs up. If I don't have anything within reach, I'll use my tight fists right outside of my glutes. And when they're wedged in right up there to that outer hip, the thigh bones feel like they're supported. And so resting there. From here, you're going to bring the knees up and bring the feet to the edges of the mat. Arms can go out shape of a T, and the knees are going to slowly windshield side to side. Letting go of tension in the hip flexors, the low back. Keep windshield wipering side to side. Earlier I spoke about changing our channel, changing our thoughts to more positive ones, to get out of the nightmare that's in our head. And one of the proven tools of yoga is a mantra. Mantra means mind training, cleansing of the thoughts. They are a channel to tune into, and they are so useful to cleanse our mind of those negative thoughts. And so while we are windshield wiping the legs and eventually moving into Shavasana, I'll play a sung mantra. So like a yoga practice, they're there for us when times are hard. But for us to know that life preserver is there, that tool is there, we have to practice it in less stressful times. But in this quarantine, in this stressful time, or any challenging moment, it's a great place to begin because we have that motivation. But just when stress ends, we don't end the mantra practice, our yoga or meditation practice. But we use it each day or as regularly as we can, so that when we're in those tests, that we know exactly what to do. Once you feel like you've achieved as much as you can from our leg swing, then feel free to slide the legs out straight into Shavasana. Close the eyes. Let the palms rest face up and have the arms spaced a little further away from the side bodies. Let the weight of your body be supported by the floor. Let there be a little space between bottom and upper teeth. And let these mantras flow through you to the deepest part of your being. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, to wiggle fingers and toes to reawaken. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And roll over to one side. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Make your way up to a comfortable seat. We're going to close with an Om. You can just join in with your ears, or feel free to join in vocally. Breathe expansively into the low belly. Thank you for joining me in practice. My name is Morgan. My heart bows to yours. Namaste. So please share this practice with anyone you think might appreciate a little bit of checking in on their mat and with themselves. Also, I am not requiring donations, but do greatly appreciate them. They help support the continuation of making these practices available to everybody. And so there will be instructions in the comments below. So I appreciate you and your practice. Namaste.